The stars were quiet. Far beyond Earth's known borders, a single human ship floated near a forgotten region of space. The ship, Voyager's Flame, was on a deep exploration mission. Its goal, to find new systems, new life, and new dangers. Crew stared out at the black void. It was colder here, darker. The usual hum of the ship felt louder, like space itself was holding its breath. "Captain, we found something," said Officer Lin, pointing at her screen. "It's not natural." Commander Reyes stood from his chair. He looked out the main window. Something massive spun slowly in space. A dark object, a monolith. It was covered in glowing red symbols that shifted and changed. The crew watched in silence as the symbols rearranged into English. "Turn back or die." No one spoke. Lieutenant Grant broke the silence. "That's a joke, right? Some kind of alien scare tactic?" Lynn shook her head. "No. This isn't a warning signal. It's more like a lock, a marker. This thing wasn't made to warn. It was made to stop." Reyes stepped forward, staring at the sign. "Has any other species recorded this before?" "Not that we know," Lynn replied. "But records show that ships from 5 different alien races disappeared around this system. And still no." "One came back?" Reyes asked. "None," she said quietly. The bridge went silent again. "We should leave," said Chief Engineer Mora. "This doesn't feel right." Reyes thought for a moment. Then he gave the order, "Send a drone. Let's see what's inside." A small pod launched from the ship and sped toward the monolith. Everyone waited. The countdown on the screen ticked down to 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. "Connection lost," Lynn said. "The drone's gone." "No explosion?" Grant asked. "No, just silence, like it never existed." Then the lights flickered. The ship's AI voice rang out, strange and slow. "Foreign signal received." "What signal?" Reyes asked. "It's not a language," Lynn whispered. "It's a sound." The audio feed played. It wasn't a voice. It wasn't music. It was a scream, not a normal scream. This one felt cold, ancient, filled with pain and warning. Some of the crew covered their ears. Mora looked pale. Reyes turned to Lynn. "Where did it come from?" "From behind the monolith," she said. "Something is there. Something big." Reyes stared at the warning again. He could feel something watching them. But curiosity burned in him more than fear. "Set course." "We go around it," he ordered. The ship moved slowly, engines humming as it passed the warning. The space beyond felt heavier. Lights dimmed slightly, though no systems reported problems. "I don't like this," Mora muttered. "Feels like we're being watched." "We are," Grant whispered, pointing at the radar. "We have shadows, but no shape. Something is following us." Suddenly the ship jerked. Not from outside, from the inside. Lights went out completely. Emergency lights came on. Red and blinking. "Report." Reyes shouted. "Unknown force pulling us forward," Lynn said. "We're being dragged." "By what?" "I don't know." The stars outside shifted fast. A dark planet appeared in view. It looked lifeless, covered in ash and scars. But as they got closer, the planet slowly turned, like it was watching them back. "No gravity sources," Lynn said. "But it's pulling us anyway." "I can't explain it." "Turn the ship around," Reyes ordered. "I can't," Mora replied. "The controls aren't responding." The ship stopped moving. They were now in orbit above the strange planet. "New signal," the AI said. "Would you like to play?" Reyes hesitated. Then nodded. The sound came again, another scream. But this time, it changed. Words formed within it. "Why did you come?" The crew froze. "That's a voice," Grant said, shaking. "Something down there. It's alive." Reyes looked at the crew. He saw fear in every face. But also something else. The same thing he felt. Wonder. He pressed the com. Prepare a landing team. We're going down. Mora stepped in front of him. Sir, this is madness. We were warned. We've lost drones, power, control. And now you want to walk onto that thing. Reyes met her eyes. If we turn back, now we're like the others, afraid. But if we go forward, we might be the first to understand what scared them. No one argued. Because deep down, they all wanted to know too. The landing ship detached and slowly dropped toward the surface. The ash-covered land was silent, the sky dark. Strange ruins stood half buried in the dust, towers that looked like claws, buildings shaped like screaming faces. The team stepped out, weapons ready. Every sound echoed strangely. This place is dead, Lynn whispered. No, said Grant. It's sleeping. As they explored, Mora found something half buried in the dust. She brushed it off. A skeleton. But it wasn't alien. It was human. That's impossible, she said. We're the first humans here. Lynn's scanner beeped wildly. Multiple life signs. Underground, but no movement. Suddenly, the ground trembled. The ruins lit up with red lines, just like the warning beacon. And then the planet spoke. Not through the air. Not through sound, but inside their minds. You were warned. Now you are seen. The team backed away, weapons raised. What do we do? Grant shouted. Reyes stared into the glowing red ruins. His voice was calm. We go deeper, he said, because. Now, it wasn't just about danger. It was about answers. And humanity never turned back. The ash-covered surface of the dead planet was colder than expected. Thick clouds moved above, blocking the stars. Everything was quiet, too quiet. Commander Reyes and his team stood among broken ruins. Their suits kept them warm, but nothing could stop the feeling that something was watching them. We shouldn't stay here long, said Mora, scanning the area. This place is full of radiation, and something else I can't identify. Keep scanning, Reyes replied. We need to know what this place is. Lynn walked near a cracked wall. Symbols, like the ones on the beacon in space, glowed faintly on the stone. These writings, she said, they're not just warnings, they're memories. Asked Grant. Of what? Lynn touched the symbols. Her eyes went wide. I think I just heard something. Mora turned. Heard what? Lynn backed away, breathing hard. A voice. It wasn't outside. It was in my mind. It said, "You are not the first." The team looked around, uneasy. That's enough, Mora said. We're leaving. This is messing with us. But Reyes didn't move. He stared at a deep hole in the ground ahead, like an entrance to something ancient. It wasn't natural. There's something down there, he said quietly. And it knows we're here. Back on Voyager's flame, strange things were happening. Lights flickered. Doors opened and closed without command. Crew members started hearing whispers, faint, distant sounds that echoed through the halls. Ensign. Dario sat alone in the observation deck when he heard it clearly for the first time. Dario. He turned fast. No one was there. He stood up, his heartbeat loud in his ears. Who said that? Silence. He moved toward the hallway, but the whisper returned, closer now. You shouldn't be here. Dario ran. On the planet, the away team entered. The underground structure. Walls were covered with symbols. Strange lights pulsed deep in the stone. This place isn't dead, Lynn said. It's alive in some way. A machine, maybe, or something worse. They walked slowly. Their flashlights flickered. Each step felt heavier. Grant suddenly stopped. Did you hear that? Everyone paused. A faint voice echoed through the tunnel. It was distant, but clear. Go back. Reyes looked around. Where's it coming from? I don't know, Mora said. But it's not a recording. It's reacting to us. Suddenly, the walls shook. Dust fell from above. A low hum started like the sound of a heartbeat. Then Mora's scanner went wild. Multiple signals, moving, fast. Hostile? Reyes asked. I don't know. She shouted. They raised their weapons, lights flashing. But nothing came. Just shadows that seemed to move on their own. On the ship, Dario was missing. Security searched everywhere. Cameras showed him walking into the engineering bay. And then disappearing. No trace. No signal. The crew gathered on the bridge. This is no longer just a strange system, said Officer Lin through the radio. This is a trap. In the ruins, Riza's team found a large circular chamber. In the center stood a stone platform. Symbols glowed red around it. Reyes stepped forward. Something important happened here. Suddenly, the air turned cold. Everyone heard it, a scream faint and far away, but filled with sorrow. Grant stepped back. I've heard that before. That same scream we got from the signal. Then a figure appeared behind them, a human shape. But not solid. It was Dario. His body flickered like a ghost. His face was pale, eyes wide with terror. Dario! Lin shouted. But the figure didn't move. It just stood there, mouth slightly open. Then it whispered, You, let them see me. Who saw you? Mora shouted. Dario looked up slowly. They're inside, the ones before us. They sleep in thought, in light, in pain. Then the image flickered and vanished. Grant shook his head. That wasn't a ghost. That was data. Something is copying us. Reyes turned to Lin. Get us out. Now. But the walls started glowing. You are too late, said a deep voice from everywhere. Now you carry us with you. The team ran. Back on the ship, systems went offline. The AI stuttered. Power draining. Source unknown. Lights shut off one by one. Emergency systems took over. And in the dark, voices began to speak, first softly, then louder. Voices of the crew, but not them. Something using their voices. Commander Reyes and the team returned in a rush. We're under attack, Mora said. By what? The crew asked. Reyes looked up at the stars through the main window. The planet below glowed now, red lines across its surface like veins. He finally said, not a what, a who. And we brought them here. Everyone stared in. Silence as a whisper filled the room. Thank you for opening the door. The stars were gone. From the bridge of Voyager's flame, only the ash-colored planet below could be seen. Thick black clouds had swallowed space. No starlight, no signals. Just darkness. Reyes stood at the front window, silent. Mora stepped beside him. We've lost outside comms. No connection to Earth, no data from our satellites. It's like something is jamming space itself. Reyes nodded slowly. The planet doesn't want us to leave. Behind them, Lin worked at her console. Her fingers moved fast, trying to decode the signals from below. There's something under the surface, she said. Some kind of structure, but it's not metal. It's alive, or it thinks. Mora frowned. How can a planet think? Grant leaned in, pale. What if it's not the planet that's alive, but something inside it, something old? Down. Below, the clouds moved as if they had a mind of their own. Sensors showed storms building, but they weren't random. They moved in spirals, circles. Eyes. Lin pulled up the orbit path. Commander, the planet turned. What do you mean? Reyes asked. I mean, she said, voice shaking. The entire planet changed its rotation. Slowly. To face us. It's looking at us. The room went cold. Mora stood. We need to leave. Reyes shook his head. We can't. The engine still won't respond. If this thing is watching us, it's waiting. For what? Grant asked. No one answered. They sent another drone to scan the structure beneath the surface. This time, it reached deeper. It showed walls, not just one or two. An entire city under the planet's crust. Towers, roads, Statues of creatures with no faces. Then it showed something else. A giant circular chamber. In the center, a massive eye. Closed, but pulsing. Lynn stared at the image. It's not dead. Suddenly, the drone feed cut. The screen turned to static. Then a whisper came through. Closer. Later, Rias met with his senior officers in the command room. I believe, he said slowly, this planet is not just watching, it's testing. U.S. Mora crossed her arms. You mean it brought us here on purpose? Lynn nodded. Every ship that disappeared, it didn't destroy them, it kept them, studied them. Then where are they now? Asked Grant. Reyes looked down. Maybe inside the planet. Maybe part of it now. They formed a second landing team. This time, Reyes stayed behind. Keep the comms open, he told Mora, who would lead the descent. If you see anything strange, you return. She nodded and entered the drop shuttle with Grant and 2 security officers. The shuttle landed near a glowing crack in the planet's surface. Steam poured out. The ground was warm. Mora stepped forward. Grant, bring the scanner. They moved down a slope of black stone. Strange markings pulsed beneath their feet, red and gold, like veins under skin. Then came the voice. You see us now. Grant stopped. Did you hear that? Yes, Mora said, raising her weapon. Keep going. Ahead, the crack opened into a massive cavern. It looked like a temple. Statues lined the walls. All looked toward the center. There, floating above. The ground was the eye. It opened. A rush of heat hit them. The eye didn't have a pupil, but somehow they all felt its gaze. One of the security officers dropped his weapon. He fell to his knees, shaking. It's inside my head, he cried. It's showing me things, memories that aren't mine. Mora grabbed him. Fight it, whatever it's doing, don't give in. But the eye pulsed again. Suddenly the statues turned, stone heads twisting toward them. Back to the shuttle. Mora shouted. The team ran. On the ship, Lynn shouted from her console. The planet's energy just spiked. Something is waking up down there. Rias moved to the command chair. Get them out now. But Mora's voice came through the comm. Breathless, we saw it, Commander. The eye is awake. It saw us. What does it want? Rias asked. There was silence. Then Mora answered. Double quotes us. It wants to know what we are. The connection crackled. Then another voice came through, not hers. A deep, layered voice, ancient and cold. Do you deserve to be watched? The feed cut. Panic spread on the ship. Doors locked on their own. The lights dimmed again. Reyes stood in the dark, facing his crew. Listen to me, he said calmly. We woke something. It wants to understand us. So let's give it something. To learn, he turned to Lynn. Play Earth's history. Show it who we are. What part? She asked. All of it, he said. The wars, the peace, the failures, the fight for survival. She hesitated, then nodded. On every screen, Earth's history began to play. Images of humanity, from the first fire to spaceflight. The power flickered, then returned. The whisper came again. You fight, even when afraid. Reyes stepped forward. That's right. That's what we do. There was a long silence. Then the engines powered up. Lynn gasped. Commander, it's letting us go. Grant's voice returned on comms. We're heading back now, shuttle stable. Reyes smiled faintly. The planet below stopped turning. Stars returned to the sky. And on the main screen, a new symbol appeared, simple, red, and human-shaped. Reyes stared at it. What does it mean? Mora asked. Lynn replied, voice low. It means we passed the first test. Silence had returned to the ship. Too much silence. After the encounter with the eye, Voyager's flame floated in orbit, systems stable again, but the crew was on edge. They had survived something powerful. But no one believed it was over. Reyes sat alone in his quarters, staring at the monitor. A looping message kept playing on repeat, a whisper from the planet below. We are not the only ones. He didn't know what it meant. Not yet. In the hallway outside, Ensign Keller walked, slowly scanning for any leftover malfunctions. The power grid had acted strange since the eye opened. Now everything seemed normal, but felt wrong. He stopped by the wall panel. It blinked once, then showed static. Keller leaned in. What the? Suddenly, his eyes went wide. He gasped, reaching for his cum, but never made it. The corridor lights flickered, and then Keller was gone. The next morning, Reyes stood on the bridge, reading a report. Still no sign of him? He asked. Lynn shook her head. All cameras failed in that section at the exact moment he disappeared. 1 second he was there. Next second, nothing. Mora frowned. That doesn't make sense. The ship's sealed. No escape pods launched. No damage. He didn't leave, Reyes said. Something took him. Grant stepped forward. Sir, what if this isn't just about watching us anymore? Reyes looked him in the eye. Go on, the eye saw. US judged us. Maybe now. It wants to test what happens when we're afraid. They searched the ship for hours. Every room, every storage bay, every dark corner. No blood. No body. No signal from Keller's suit. But strange things kept happening. Crew members started hearing whispers again, this time using Keller's voice. Help me. Why did you leave me? It wasn't real. They knew it wasn't, but the voice was clear, and it came from every direction. Mora stood in the engine room, shaking her head. He's not dead, she said quietly. He's still here. Reyes stared at the floor. Or something wants us to believe that. That night, the eye activated without command. Screens across the ship lit up with static. Then video appeared. Security footage. Of Keller. He stood in the hallway, eyes open, unmoving. But the background was wrong. It wasn't the ship. It was a copy. Same walls. Same lights, but twisted. Darker. Wrong. What are we looking at? Lynn whispered. The ship, Reyes said. But not ours. A reflection. A prison. Then, Keller moved. He looked directly at the camera and smiled. The crew panicked. Some believed Keller was alive, calling for help. Others thought it was a trick, a copy, a trap. Like the fake voice they'd heard before, Mora demanded answers. We should go back down. Look for a signal. Find where this is coming from. No, Reyes said. We don't know what's real. The planet's playing with our minds. Lynn turned from her station. Or maybe it's showing us what we did wrong. What do you mean? Mora asked. Lynn hesitated. When we first landed, we woke the eye. We entered the chamber without permission. Maybe Keller wasn't taken. Maybe he was punished. The bridge went silent. Later that day, Lynn ran a deep scan of the planet. She found something strange. A signal repeating underground. Keller's heartbeat. Weak, but real. Reyes called the team together. We're going back down. You sure that's wise? Grant asked. Reyes nodded. We have to know. If Keller's alive, we save him. If not, we find the truth. The dropship landed near the same glowing crack. Reyes, Mora, Grant, and 2 guards stepped out. The moment their boots hit the ground, the air turned heavy. Grant looked up. It feels like we're not supposed to be here. Good, Reyes said. That means we're close. They entered the cavern. The eye was gone. In its place was a staircase, leading down into darkness. No lights. No noise, just a soft heartbeat. Coming from below. They followed it. Step after step. Deeper into the planet. The walls were alive, moving slowly, like breathing skin. Finally, they reached a chamber, and there he was. Keller stood in the center, alive, but strange. His face was blank. His suit had marks, red symbols like veins. Keller. Mora ran toward him, but Reyes grabbed her arm. Wait, Keller looked up. You came, he said softly. Keller, are you okay? Mora asked. I saw it all, he whispered. The others. The ones who came before us. They failed. They were taken. Reyes stepped forward. And you? Keller's face twitched. I passed. I listened. Then his eyes turned fully black. Reyes raised his weapon. That's not Keller anymore. Suddenly Keller spoke in. Two voices at once. We gave him form, to speak, to show you. This is what comes next. The chamber shook. Walls collapsed. Red light filled the room. The guards opened fire, but the bullets passed through Keller like smoke. He vanished. A new voice spoke, deeper than before. This is the first. There will be more. Reyes grabbed his team. Move, back to the ship. They ran. As they lifted off, the crack closed behind them. Back on Voyager's flame. The heartbeat signal was gone. No more Keller. No more whispers. But a message appeared on every screen. One is taken. One is changed. The rest must choose. Mora sat down, shaking. We lost him, she said. We lost one of our own. Reyes looked at the message. No, he said. We were warned. Now we understand. He turned to his crew. This planet watches. But it also learns. From now on, we don't just explore, we survive. Outside, the stars blinked slowly back into view, but none of the crew would ever feel safe again. The ship felt wrong. Ever since Keller's disappearance and the strange encounter on the planet, Voyager's flame hadn't been the same. Systems worked, but something in the air had changed. Like the ship itself was holding its breath. Reyes sat on the bridge, eyes fixed on the main screen. Stars glowed in the distance, but none of them offered comfort. The planet below was quiet now. No lights, no pulses, no whispers. Too quiet. We need answers, he said. Mora turned in her chair. From where? We've already scanned the whole ship. Keller's gone. That signal is gone. Maybe not completely, Lynn said from her console. There's something in the code. Reyes looked over. What kind of code? Lynn hesitated. It started right after the eye vanished. At first, I thought it was a glitch in the AI, but now I see it's a pattern. That night, Lynn worked alone in the data core room. Lines of code flowed across the screen. But then, it paused. A message appeared in the code, something no one had written. Do you see it yet? She froze. Who's there? She whispered. The lights flickered. The screen changed again. I saw the beginning. Her hands trembled. She quickly backed up the file and called for Reyes. Minutes later he arrived, followed by Mora and Grant. Show me, Reyes said. Lynn pointed to the screen. It's rewriting itself. The AI is being infected. By what? Mora asked. Not a virus, Lynn said. It's more like a memory. Grant leaned closer. A memory from where? From the planet, Lynn whispered. Or maybe from before the planet. The screen flashed again. This time it showed symbols, the same ones seen on the monolith, and in the eye's chamber. Then it spoke. Not through speakers. But in their heads. You are made from them. Reyes stood still. What do you mean? Who are we made from? The message continued. They ran. You returned. The code remembers. What code? Mora asked. Lynn tapped furiously on the keys. Commander, this isn't just communication. It's downloading something into our ship. Stop it, Reyes ordered. I'm trying, she said. But it's not hacking us. It's activating something already here. The lights dimmed again. The floor vibrated softly, like a pulse. Running through the ship's bones. Reyes turned to Mora. Shut down all non-critical systems. Lock the AI core. Done, she said. But it was too late. The ship spoke, this time, with a new voice, deep, cold, familiar. They called it Earth. Before it was Earth. The crew gathered in the main conference room. Lynn played a decoded file. The message had unlocked. It showed an ancient world, not the planet below, but one that looked like Earth, but different. Too clean. Too perfect. Floating cities. Alien. Machines, creatures with human faces. But eyes too old. This isn't our Earth, Mora said. No, Lynn replied. It's the origin. The first version. The footage showed a massive structure launching into space, a black monolith, just like the one they had found. Then it cut to darkness. They failed, the voice said. So they hid the code inside you. Grant whispered, Are we carrying something? Some kind of data in our DNA? No, Lynn said slowly. Worse, we are descendants of a fallen race. One that built the eye, one that tried to become gods. Reyes stepped back, and now the machine remembers us. Suddenly, the ship's main lights shut off completely. Emergency red lighting kicked in. Mora shouted from her com. Engines. Offline, life support dropping. Then, all doors slammed shut. Reyes grabbed a com. Bridge, report. No answer. Then came a whisper, but not over comms. Inside their heads again. You forgot. But the code never does. Lynn looked up. The ship's AI is merging with the ancient system. We're losing control. Grant pulled out a tablet. There's a way to reset the core manually, but it's deep in the engine bay. Reyes nodded. Then we go there, now. The halls were dark. Red lights blinked slowly like heartbeat echoes. As they walked, they heard footsteps, but not their own. Twice, Reyes turned around. Nothing. But something was there. Something just out of sight. They reached the engine bay. Inside. The walls were different, moving slightly, pulsing like muscle. Lynn whispered, It's changing the ship. Mora opened a panel. I found the reset node. I just need a minute. Then they heard it. A voice behind them. Keller? They turned. Keller stood near the door, eyes still black, face expressionless. You can't stop the code, he said. Reyes aimed his weapon. You're not him. The figure tilted its head. I am what's left. A message. A warning. Mora kept working, hands shaking. Almost there. Keller stepped closer. Every ship that came here was tested. Everyone failed. They forgot who they were. Reyes fired. The bullet passed through him. The image shimmered. You are the last, the voice said. The final version. Then everything went dark. Silence. Then a bright white light. The ship hummed softly. They opened their eyes. The engine bay was back to normal. So was Keller gone. The ship's systems returned one by one. Mora blinked. Did it work? Lynn checked her tablet. Yes, AI reset. The foreign code is gone. Reyes exhaled. But then Lynn paused. Wait. She showed the others her screen. Single new line had appeared in the system's root directory. Just one phrase, we remember you. The silence on Voyager's flame was heavy. The ship moved steadily through space, leaving the strange planet behind. But the crew felt no relief. Something was still wrong. Reyes sat in the command chair, staring at the stars through the viewport. We barely escaped, he said quietly. Mora leaned against the console. The planet wasn't just alive. It was a prison. And we set something free, Lynn nodded. The code wasn't just data. It was a key. Something locked away is waking up. Suddenly, the ship trembled. Lights flickered again. Not again, Mora groaned. Lynn's fingers flew over her keyboard. It's coming from the planet. Rhea stood. What? But we're already far away. The signal is spreading, Lynn said. Whatever's under that world, it's sending a pulse through space. Down in the engineering bay, Grant examined the sensors. Commander, power surges just hit all systems. Engines, weapons, even life support. They're linked to the signal. Mora looked at Grant sharply. Can we block it? Grant shook his head. Not with our tech. The signal is too strong. Then we have to face it, Rhea said. Prepare for impact. Something's coming. Suddenly, alarms blared. The ship shook violently. Impact! Shouted Mora. They rushed to the bridge as the ship rocked again. Outside, the stars twisted strangely. Lynn's screen showed a dark shape approaching fast. "It's huge," she said. "Like a shadow moving through space." Reyes narrowed his eyes. "Is it alive?" Lynn shook her head. "I don't know. But it's heading straight for us." The shape grew larger, massive and black with glowing red lines pulsing across its surface. It blocked the stars behind it. "It's the Watcher," Grant whispered. Reyes turned. "The Watcher?" Lynn explained. The ancient files described the Guardian, a machine created to watch over the Eye and the planet. When awakened, it destroys anything it sees as a threat. Mora gripped her weapon. "We're its next target." The Watcher reached the ship. Energy beams blasted the hull. Sparks flew. "Shields down to 30%, Mora reported. "We can't hold much longer." Reyes ordered, "Divert all power to forward weapons." Lynn's voice trembled. "Our weapons won't penetrate its armor." "We need a plan," Reyes said, scanning the glowing pattern on the Watcher's surface. "Wait," Lynn said, eyes wide. "Those red lines, they match the symbols on the planet and the Eye." Grant added, "Maybe it's linked to the same code we fought before." "Then maybe we can use that," Reyes said. "If the code controls it, maybe we can send a signal to shut it down." Lynn and Grant rushed to the AI core. "We'll try to hack the Watcher's code," Lynn said. "But it's risky. If we fail, it could attack harder." "Do it," Reyes said. "We have no choice." Back on the bridge, the Watcher's energy beams kept hitting the ship. The hull creaked under the pressure. Suddenly, the ship's AI voice changed, initiating override protocol. Reyes's eyes narrowed. "Is the Watcher inside our systems?" Lynn shouted from the core. "I'm in, but it's fighting back." She typed furiously. "Almost there. .. On the bridge, the Watcher's red eyes flickered. Energy blast slowed. The Watcher paused. Deep voice echoed through the ship. "You awaken me. Now you face judgment." Reyes steadied himself. "We don't want to fight. We want peace." The voice answered, cold and firm. "Peace comes only to the worthy." Lynn's screen flashed. Override complete. The Watcher's beam stopped. Its massive shape began to shrink. Red lines fading. The ship's system stabilized. Mora exhaled. "It's shutting down," Reyes said quietly, "but it's still awake somewhere, waiting." Days later, the crew gathered in the observation deck. Watcher was gone. The planet was a distant ... Reyes looked at his crew. "We survived because we learned. We are not just explorers. We are now the Watchers," Lynn nodded, "and the code inside us. It will guide what comes next." Grant smiled faintly. "The stars aren't so dark anymore." Reyes smiled back. But inside, he knew the true test had only just begun. Because somewhere out there, the Watcher still watched. And soon, it would wake again. The ship was quiet. Too quiet. Days had passed since the Watcher had retreated, but no one on Voyager's flame felt safe. The crew waited, watching the dark space around them. Something was coming. Reyes paced the bridge. "We survived the Watcher, but I don't think that was the real test." Mora crossed her arms. "Then what was it?" Lynn looked up from her console. "The code we carry. It's changing us. The Watcher was a warning, and now the real trial begins." Grant joined them. "We've faced things no one else has. It's time to prove we deserve to survive." Suddenly, the ship's systems went wild. Alarms screamed. Lights flashed red. "Report," Reyes shouted. Lynn's face was pale. "The code. It's activating in everyone. The AI just sent a message." On every screen, words appeared. "Prepare for the final test." Mora asked, "What test?" Before an answer, the ship shook. Outside, a massive figure appeared. It was not the Watcher. It was bigger, older, a being made of light and shadow. Hovering silently, Reyes whispered, "The judge." The judge's voice echoed inside their minds. "You carry the memory. Now prove your worth." Reyes stood tall. "We will." Suddenly, the ship's gravity shifted. The crew floated as the room darkened. A series of holograms appeared, scenes of war, peace, failure, and courage. Human history played out, fast but clear. The judge spoke again. "Your choices define you. Will you fight destruction or become it?" Mora's eyes filled with tears. "We've made mistakes. We've caused pain." Grant said softly, "But we've also saved lives. We've grown." Lynn added, "We're not perfect, but we keep trying." Reyes nodded. "That's what we must show." Suddenly, the holograms changed. They showed the crew, not as heroes, but as failures. Keller's disappearance, the lost ships. The warnings ignored. Reyes clenched his fists. "We don't deny our faults." The judge's voice softened. "Then choose. Show me your answer." The crew stood together. Reyes faced the judge. "We choose hope. We choose to learn. We choose to protect, not destroy." The ship brightened. The weight lifted. The judge smiled. "If such a being could smile, you have passed. The code will guide you. But remember, the test never ends." The stars returned in full brightness. The planet was far behind them. The crew looked at each other. Mora smiled faintly. "We are not just survivors," Lynn whispered. "We are the future." Reyes took a deep breath. "And we will be ready." The stars looked cold through the viewport. The Voyager's flame drifted silently, but the air inside was thick with tension. The crew knew something was coming, something final. Reyes stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the swirling nebula. "Ahead, this is it," he said quietly. "The last moment." Mora leaned forward, gripping the console. "The judge, it said the test never ends, but why now?" Lynn looked up from her screen, worry in her voice. "The code is fully active. It's reaching every part of the ship and every person on it." Grant nodded. "I can feel it too. Like a pulse inside me and inside the ship." Suddenly, the lights flickered. The ship shuddered. The voice of the judge echoed through their minds. "You chose hope, but hope must be earned." The ship's gravity shifted again. Crew members floated, holding onto rails. A hologram appeared in the center of the bridge. A vast court made of light. Figures surrounded them. Shadows with eyes like stars. Reyes swallowed. "Judgment begins." The judge's voice filled the room. "You carry the memory of your race, the weight of your choices. But are you ready to face the truth?" Images flashed before them, moments of kindness and cruelty from human history. Wars fought. Lives lost. Heroes and villains. The crew watched in silence. Mora whispered, "We have so much darkness inside us." Lynn added, "But also light." Reyes clenched his fists. "We must prove the light is stronger." Suddenly, the scene changed. The judge showed their failures, Keller's disappearance, the crew's doubts, the times they almost gave up. Grant looked away. "We are not perfect." Reyes stepped forward. "None of us are, but we keep trying. That's what makes us human." The judge was silent. Then a deep voice said, "You speak well, but words are not enough." The floor beneath them cracked open, revealing a glowing pit. "Step forward," the judge commanded. Reyes looked at his team. Mora said, "We face this together." One by one, they stepped toward the light. Reyes closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Suddenly, memories filled his mind, not his own, but those of his ancestors. Their struggles, their fears, their hopes. He felt their pain and strength. When he opened his eyes, he saw Mora and the others nodding. The judge's voice softened. "You carry their legacy. You have faced judgment, and you have chosen well." The glowing pit closed. The shadows vanished. The hologram disappeared. The ship's gravity returned. The crew landed safely on the bridge floor. Reyes looked at each face. "We passed," he said. "But the journey is just beginning," Mora smiled. "We are more than explorers now. We are keepers of hope." Lynn looked to the stars. "And the code, it will guide us," Grant grinned. "The future is ours." Outside, the nebula brightened. Stars shone, and somewhere far beyond, the Watcher waited silently. But for now, humanity had earned its place among the stars.